Good morning. Well, it's morning for me. It's November 21st. Every month I record the monthly tarot readings, and my Patreons normally get first access ad-free to all video content. But every month I like to do the birthday month live because some of you guys know there was a time when I was going live every day, sharing from my heart, sharing the alchemical emotional process. People can call it shadow work or just emotional healing or alchemical healing. Anyway, you can find out more info about myself, about Ulta Love, in the description below. You can also book a private reading. You can book a meditation online yoga session. And when you do top tier Patreons, they get a 40% discount on sessions as well. So if you become a patron, you can work with me one-to-one if the rates are too high otherwise. So divine guidance and loving clarity, £22 a month for top tier patrons is a fair amount, but I want to make sure you get lots for it. And then the $5 month people, they get everything too, but no discounts for the lower patrons. So let's go meet over on the patron community. But otherwise, my lovers, I'm really happy to be here with you. Divine guidance and loving clarity is my intention with tarot. Divine guidance and loving clarity. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Remember, you're your own master, my lovers. Wishing you all so much love and peace for this upcoming winter season, certainly in the Northern Hemisphere, and really appreciate all of you supremely. So this is for Sagittarius, divine guidance and loving clarity for my Saggy lovers. Divine guidance and loving clarity. You guys, I'm an intuitive reader. It means I just do it all intuitively. I'm not doing any traditional spreads, and I often interpret the cards intuitively as well, with a likeness to some of the traditional definitions, obviously. Ace of Cups, new beginning. A new beginning in love. I'm discerning what I'm picking up from the Six of Cups reverse and the Eight of Wands reverse. One thing I'm picking up on is a ghosting situation, having a hookup or meeting somebody that you felt like maybe really gelled with, somebody you had maybe more than one date. A Six of Cups would be like, you're definitely friendly, you're definitely having a nice time. But then because it's all reversed next to the Eight of Wands reverse, I feel like, and then suddenly you stop talking, or suddenly you or the other person just goes cold, disappears. Ghosting is just one of those really weird things, and I feel it as part of our commodification of one another and how distracted and busy we all are. But then on the flip side, I'm suddenly aware of, like, I do it too, where like days and days and days go by and you like forget to message somebody back. um yeah, and I'm also aware that this constant back and forth communication was also not necessarily like healthy or normal, like um as in the polarity of it all, giving one another space, a few days to reply, right? Anywho, I digress. This is possibly, for some of you, a bit of a ghosting situation. Maybe you're the ghost. Maybe you did the ghosting. Because there's a new cup. Maybe you found maybe you went on a date and found a better option, or maybe they did. Maybe they were like, oh shit, I've new love is here to stay and I want to go for the new love kind of thing. Obviously, Sagis, we're going to pull some more cards. You guys know the score. This is for fun and entertainment and divine guidance, love, and clarity. Only if you resonate do you take the messages. It's like all things, I think it's really important to encourage people to shop around when it comes to therapists, healers, yoga teachers, all this well-being, razzmatazz. Shop just like you would with a diet, just like you would with anything else. Like, test the water, shop around. And certainly do propagate finding people you resonate with, right? Finding people that feel good, encourage you, and maybe sometimes give you the tough love as well. I know that's like annoying, but also the efficacy of reflective work or mirror work in our relationship is that people we invite in, as much as we want to blame and attack them for pain they cause or not behaving this way or that way, they reflect parts of ourselves, which is so annoying, isn't it? And as far as like the polarity of those engagements, right? We can feel so juiced up and so in love and so what have you, and then the moment we are disappointed or the moment they're this, that, and the other, right? And vice versa. I think we've been conditioned to put a lot of pressure on our romantic, intimate relationships versus a more holistic self-regenesis perspective of how, we can also, we're all essentially self-sustainable, autonomous creators, totally capable of providing and manifesting for ourselves. And yet the connection in safety and the connection in unity, in community, right, is also a very, very necessary requirement for our growth and prosperity and our well-being. So, wow, did I ever digress? It must have been important for some of us. And also I'm getting that too, is that Saji, some of you might be being guided into a community of sorts, or certainly like the new beginning. It's like we want things to work out, but there's a reason, there's a love. This could have felt great, could have felt like a soulmate, and then for whatever reason it's not meant to work out because you were the other person. You have a new beginning elsewhere. You're meant to move cross country. You're meant to go somewhere different, right? The love that maybe you thought you're gonna, yeah, defo new beginning here, huge. There's a creative new beginning, passionate new beginning, and there's some love. So this is definitely signaling, like, take the offer, right? Like, take the new beginning, move in the direction where there's new energy. New energy, mindful of emotional distractions, you guys, Sagis. I'm going to say take your time with any new connections. Take your time. And as far as notice the reciprocity, pay attention to how and why and what you're giving, and then what's coming back. Pay attention. I digressed massive, but that was part of that digression, was acknowledging that so often is the case what we put in other people, we do. Like I am an introvert as much as I've ever met an introvert, and I really love alone time. Obviously, there's a difference between choosing sacred solitude and enjoying and luxuriating in that sacred solitude versus dire isolation or brutal aloneness, which is very, very different, right? And what I recognize now is that many aspects of our aloneness and or self-isolation is protective. If we've been through betrayal and heartache and pain, there's like a don't let people in. Those people, hurty people, And I gotta say, there's that healing the heart or healing betrayal. All I would dare say is that this is a continual healing for a lot of us. And I must say at this point, I'm increasingly probably going to be going down the route of propagating, get off the phones, get off of our devices, stop seeking the answers in a video clip. And I say that as I pioneer different layers and levels of my own more intimate relationships with friends, with clients, it's my heart, it's my life, it's my connection. Listening to some arbitrary rando talk about narcissism or talk about relationship, blah, 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 unless you and your partner are in a relationship and going to a therapist, watching a video on YouTube isn't therapy. And I would dare say it's hyper dangerous, because we're then just pointing fingers, blaming and attacking. Everybody's a narcissist and everybody's an empath and everybody is and the majority of us ranting on about it are not therapists. We're not actually doing the work. We don't actually know the terms. We don't. And I sometimes also feel that from a broader psychospiritual evolutionary perspective, it still doesn't make none of us are bad, like we're trying to heal stuff. And so just carte blanching somebody into a box of a diagnostic label that may or may not be true, if anything, self-responsibility, love yourself, and then jog along if something's not resonant, if something's not working, if things are not reciprocal. The balanced scales as a Libra energy, Pentacle would be a earth sign energy, but more is this scale of giving and take, right? And you're clearly in this regard somebody powerful, somebody who probably has a lot to give, but just be mindful of people that take and never give back. Or if it's you, if you're taking and never giving back to the people in your life, be mindful. People could probably address that, call you out on that maybe. But I see this Saggies with not just the Sagittarians, right? But this is just across the board evolutionary shifting for so many of us, is not to just give to the point of exhaustion, not to be around people that for whatever reason suck the life force out of us. It's that classic thing of leaving a group of people, leaving a exchange or encounter and feeling absolutely floored. I can remember living in a situation, and again, this is part of the evolution of understanding energy. It got to the point that just the thought of going back to this place, I would get tired. And like, I wouldn't want to go home. And it turned out that I wasn't in an honest and safe situation. It turned out the person was spying on me and pretending. It was just really, really distorted. But when you look back, there was a reason my intuition did not want me to be there, right? So finally, when I caught the person in the act, it was like, I'm out. Now I know why this is so dark and twisted, right? And this is just more to do with shining light on lies, people lying and not being quite honest. And again, we can all, and I must be honest too, is that the part of the reason I even ended up in those situations was because of my own woundedness, right? Wanting to fix my parents, or wanting to make things better for this person and that person, and just wanting to be this type of person, just wanting them to see me this way. And those are manipulations. When did I talk about it? It might have been in a video that never ended up getting published, but the people pleasing thing. People pleasing is not good at all. And it's weird because so much of our society is so deeply woven with this people pleasing that we all have to be pleasing to get by in the world. We have to be nice to get ahead, right? And it's actually just a crock of shit. In the truth of having healthy relationships is being authentic as fuck, right? Is being honest about things with ourselves, with other people. And I got to say too, like, the more honest we are with ourselves, the more those exchanges just become clear, because there's no baggage and there's no like manipulation energy. There's no little like invisible strings hooking around. Or I often think of it, well, you think of parasitic or vampiric energy, it's not obvious. If it were, we wouldn't suck our blood. No, it's not. It's invisible siphoning energies. It's a vibrational exchange. So you don't see it, but you might feel it. I'm become much more attuned with insidious sexual energy. And if you're really, really tuned in, it does feel serpentine. So you could be having an exchange and you start to feel this sort of like this sort of invisible snake-like energy kind of linking up. And to me personally, that's usually an insidious and or a nefarious, as in somebody's energy is trying to creep in there, either make you feel things or stimulate certain things. And then again, you could potentially fall into a trap of that, which I'm sure many of us have done. We've probably been both too. We've been the one, playing those little games. Oh, look at that person, sneaky cheeky. Let's try to get in there, right? It just is, when we talk about it, it seems like, oh no. But then I'm like, but that's just how we're all operating. One, because we live in a false economy, which means we all have to like work and save to survive. So that means, like, again, in a very broad and general but dominant way, the majority of humans are in survival mode. And reptilian, that's fight, flight, fight, flight. Look, everyone, look at the world, like fight and then flee, out fawn, or like shock, whatever, like, like that. And what do we do? I'm not exactly sure. That's part of my own plight, is just to trust in the divine grid, because I'm aware I don't have answers, and I'm pretty sure no other singular human will have answers. You just have to have faith in humanity and faith in divine law to supersede and overcome the destruction of the planet and our species, for love, like for more, not for some rainbow Care Bear thing that isn't actually real, for love, for like a genuinely better world. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be necessarily utopian. It's just legit. If you look at this situation now, we would just live in a world where, instead of dropping bombs, which would be part of our history, not our present, but that level of war and destruction would be unfathomable for our next level of human evolutionary species construct. No, that was the past, like Piscean age, or just division construct, or separation worldview. That was that construct nearly destroyed us all. Jump to the future or be here now, where when we have conflict, we discuss it. We diplomatically resolve situations through an open-hearted dialogue, where we have leaders who genuinely care about people's needs and looking after the human population, rather than siphoning the energy from the human population, pretending like they're not, and then feeding off of the wealth and privilege that they stole. I laugh, but I'm just like, oh no. May peace be with us all. Saggy, I just did a total rantosaurus, but here we go. I'm gonna come back to your cards, and I'm gonna pull just a few more. It's so funny, as I went off on that juicy rant, the Ten of Swords comes through. So this is, remember, we had a lot of aces. So Ace Cups, Ace of Wands, new beginnings. This time round, though, you're looking for the reciprocity. This time around, you're going to guarantee and make sure that these people, places, things that you're drawing in reflect your value and return what you put out in, as far as that energetic exchange goes, right? Remember that you're the queen. For some of you might have time, especially if this is the end of one phase. It's like being let go of a gig, or what are they called, like redundancy packages. So you have a bit of time off work, but a little bit of financial cushion to support you to the next thing. So I feel like some of you are definitely going to need a bit of time to heal, feel better, self-care. The Queen card is making me think of self-care, because there could be some like jewels and gems and treasures from within you, from within your womb, from within your creative vortex, that also inspires the newness of the oncoming change here. No doubt you're in a dynamic shift. Not as of a major arcana, though, but the dynamic shifting is just, I'm done with that, I'm moving to this. I'm done with that, I'm moving to this. I'm not going to think about that anymore. I'm going to trust. I'm not going to go there in my mind, overdone it, did it, we're good. Because the Ten of Swords is just a final completion. It's like, I've been through it all now. Bring it, life, right? Like, bring it on. Oh, yeah. For some of you, you're definitely, I'm getting a bit of this energy too, but like for some of you, you might be traveling soon, or you've been traveling and you're still traveling. Because the travel card is here, and that's obviously a pretty substantial pattern break. If you've been in Ten of Swords energy, sometimes we might need to get away. But this feels like a bit of a sojourn. This feels like it's not just I'm going to Spain for a week. This is like I want to do the pilgrimage. I want to do the Camino. It's like that. It's a little bit more of an extensive travel thing for healing and self-discovery. Yeah, the star. Sometimes you just can't make up the intuitive flow of these cards and how they come out. And again, I'm not psychic. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I always remind my clients, like, you are your master. This is a signature, timestamp signature. So it's again, we're looking at the month of December, but whenever you come along the videos, if they res in that moment, they're meant for you in that moment. And again, divine guidance, love, and clarity, these are broad messages for anyone who resonates with Saggy or dealing with Sagittarians. And again, take what resonates, and as far as that situation resonates with stuff in my life, etc., etc. Don't be fooled, my lovers. Trust your heart. Listen to your heart. I love you guys loads. Thank you, my Saggy friends. I'm so excited for Sag season. I'm thinking of Twinkle Twinkle Star. I've started putting little fairy lights. I've got fairy lights in my boudoir downstairs. I've got fairy lights in my spare room where all the plants are. And I'm just so excited to be hunkering down. It's been a really, really intense years way. Yeah. And I must say, I feel ever so blessed to have a home. I know I'm blessed to have a home. It's just the truth. And a mind and a heart, and to be able to feel. And yeah, man, I don't know what else really to do other than keep showing up, keep loving, keep empowering people to know that they're more powerful than anything outside of them. Oh, and just to pray for peace, like, so deeply. I know so many of you resonate, but I just don't know how over these decades, over these eras of time, I just don't know how people do it. How do you inflict that much pain on the people? How do you destroy people? I don't know, because that recognition of, like, we are one, or like the Yoga Sutra, recognize the other as you. We're all just brothers and sisters. We're all sharing this planet, right? The borders are constructed. We made the borders. They're not real. So it's like, yeah, when are we gonna learn, kind of thing. Any of my lovers, I literally just got like an insert of, I think I might do a little giveaway. One of my good internet friends and longstanding Ulta lovers, what did they kind of like, they joked and jest, but like, oh, an Ulta Love theme song. Ulta Love does have a theme song. And Ulta Love was born at a time that I was in a relation with an amazing musician. And he wrote an EP called Ulta Love. And I then was like, that's it. I didn't want my name as my website. So I was like, that's it. And that was 2011, 2012. In 2012, I started making the website. And Sam released the EP either in 2012 or 2013. Ulta Love as a song on the EP, Ulta Love, is the theme song for Ulta Love. There's lyrics about there's no man above, there's no man below. It's Ulta Love, Anyway, my lovers. So Sam, this amazing musician, there's a few other songs. So I'm basically sending an EP to my friend. And then there's another one, and I'm kind of curious. I feel like I could do a giveaway, or maybe share on the channel. I'm not sure. Give me guys some ideas. And otherwise, just have yourself a fantastic month, Sagittarius. I'm so appreciative of all of you. Give yourselves a big hug and a big love, and look after yourselves and your loved ones this season. Peace out to all of you. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. And don't forget, if you want to join Patreon, you can, for either $5 or $20. And I think that's it. The merch